Jesus called his followers to embrace a radical way of living, one characterized by boundless generosity, a commitment to peacemaking, loving even one's enemies, and a hunger for righteousness in relationships. This vision of life, described as greater righteousness, was meant to fulfill God's intentions for humanity as outlined in the Torah and the prophets. Yet, even as Jesus painted this inspiring picture of life, he warned about certain challenges that could arise along the way. One such challenge lies in the human tendency to become self-righteous. When we dive deeply into studying God's teachings, there's a risk of developing an inflated sense of moral superiority. This attitude often blinds us to our own shortcomings, making it easier to focus on others' flaws rather than our own. It can also lead us to share God's wisdom in a way that feels judgmental rather than loving. Jesus tackled this issue head-on, beginning his teaching with a straightforward command: do not judge. On the surface, this might seem like a simple solution to avoid falling into the trap of self-righteousness. However, withholding judgment isn't always easy, especially when we see others making choices that seem unwise or harmful. Instead of judging, Jesus invites us to turn our focus inward and empathize. He encourages us to ask ourselves, how would I want to be judged if I were in their position? What kind of understanding and fairness would I hope to receive? Reflecting on this question can help shift our perspective, moving us from criticism to compassion. But there's a deeper layer to this teaching. As humans, we're often unaware of our own biases and blind spots, those parts of our character that cloud our judgment. To make this point clear, Jesus shared a vivid parable: why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye but fail to notice the beam in your own eye? By drawing such a stark contrast, Jesus highlighted the importance of self-awareness. Before we even think about addressing someone else's flaws, we need to confront and correct our own. For example, if you're quick to judge someone for their impatience, take a moment to reflect on your own moments of frustration or irritation. Jesus' advice is clear: first, take the beam out of your own eye. Then you'll be able to see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. This doesn't mean ignoring others' struggles, it means approaching them with humility and clarity. But what happens once you've done the hard work of self-reflection? Should you intervene when you notice someone making harmful choices? Jesus doesn't provide a one-size-fits-all answer. Instead, he acknowledges the complexity of such situations. Sometimes, offering help is the right thing to do. Other times, people may not be ready to receive guidance, and trying to offer it could backfire. To illustrate this, Jesus used a striking metaphor: do not give what is holy to dogs or throw pearls before pigs. This imagery, drawn from Proverbs, underscores the importance of discernment. Sharing wisdom with someone who isn't open to it can lead to conflict or misunderstanding. Yet, at the same time, Proverbs also teaches, correct a fool according to his folly, or he will think himself wise. This creates a delicate balance. Knowing when to speak and when to hold back requires wisdom. But how do we gain this wisdom? Jesus assured his followers that God is eager to provide it. He encouraged them to develop the habit of seeking divine guidance through prayer. Ask, and it will be given to you, Jesus said. Seek, and you will find; knock, and the door will be opened. He compared God to a loving parent who desires the best for his children. Even imperfect human parents strive to meet their children's needs, so how much more will our Heavenly Father generously give wisdom to those who ask? Jesus concluded this section of his teaching with a profound yet simple principle: in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. When life feels overwhelming, and decisions seem complex, Jesus advised beginning with empathy. Ask yourself, how would I want to be treated? If someone wanted to share wisdom with me, how would I hope they'd approach it? Most of us would want to be treated with kindness, patience, and understanding, knowing that we're valued and loved. This principle encapsulates the heart of God's teachings in the Torah and the prophets. It reminds us that compassion and empathy aren't just nice ideas, they're foundational to living in alignment with God's will. By starting with these values and continuing to seek God's wisdom, we can navigate life's challenges with grace. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus began by stating his purpose, to fulfill the Torah and the prophets. Here, he reiterated that message, tying everything back to the foundation of God's law. And as we move forward to the conclusion of his sermon, Jesus will present us with a choice, a call to respond to his words and live out this greater righteousness. Thank you for watching and joining us on this journey of reflection and growth. If this message has inspired you, share it with your friends and family so they, too, can experience the power of Jesus' teachings. Together, let's spread his love and wisdom, one heart at a time.